My activism journey started the first time someone called me the N-word. You know, the first time someone called me the F-word. So for me, I've been acutely aware of where my humanity rests in this greater society. Whatever people deem as inferior, what they think is not power, I know is my power. My strength, my skin color, the fire in my heart, my queer identity, my trans identity. We as like black people, black trans people, we've always had to be resilient. We've always had to be hopeful. We've always had to lean on each other in order to survive. And so for us, this is actually, it's not even a question. It's what we have to do.
Do you know why Americans make everything about race? Because of Nolan Wells. If you did not know, just this past weekend, on the 4th of July, a black boy that went on a boating trip with all of his white friends came up missing. 2 days later, they found his body. His story is very reminiscent of a woman named Tamla Horsford, in 2018, a black mother of 5 who went to a sleepover with all white women and ended up dead in the backyard. Did you know that due to American racism, we've lost 3 black boys in basically the past 30 days? There was Nolan Wells on the 4th of July, but on June 14th, we lost Cohen Wiley, a 1-year-old who was shot by American police because somebody accused his people of stealing and shot him in a car. Did you know before that, on June 1st, we lost Cyrus Carmack Belton, a black boy who was shot by an Asian gas station owner over 4 water bottles he thought he stole. You know, in April, we lost at least 8 to 9 black women due to intimate partner violence within black communities, which, yes, is still a byproduct of American racism. The intimate relationship between racism and fascism, or as twins, the twins of racism and fascism, as Toni Morrison refers to them, by the fact that our fascist dictator, even though he's a dickhead, even though he's stupid, even though he can't speak in coherent sentences, even though he's falling apart like King Viserys, they're resorting back to old-fashioned physical and systemic racial violence to get the job done. The rest of the world, did you know that our government just crippled black Americans' right to vote in the South? Did you know that they just gutted the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which Martin Luther King, I'm sure you know about him, he fought for? Do you know that they did that because they know that black Americans are so sick and tired of the active and rampant racism we're experiencing that we finna tear their ass up in the midterm elections in November to get this nigga impeached, to get all these people investigated? Like what happened to Nolan happens every day. In fact, just a few weeks ago, there was a video of a white family intercepting this from happening to another black boy with a group of white boys that would have let it happen to him as well. Black boys are getting hung right now today in 2026. So in short, we're going to stop making everything about race when everybody starts to be fucking for real and start demanding that racism be eradicated and not just forgotten. In short, shut the fuck up and don't piss me off.
They didn't let Nolan leave the judge's house, and they made his family search for 2 days. I'm dizzy. I knew we were bad. I didn't know it was this bad. I know that suburbs are created so that white kids could get away with murder while their parents pretended to be doctors, judges, and coroners, right? That's historically what a suburb, just look it up. I don't have time to teach you about Mississippi, but I do have time to teach you about the fact that the judge was drinking with these kids and doing drugs, and she wouldn't let Nolan leave. And they made that family search for 2 days while they all just went out to... Can't say that he was pissed on yet, even though we know he was beaten to death with the bar because they needed dental records because he was unidentifiable. Think about that. And it explains why the judge knows, you know, she has to get in front of a Confederate flag and risk her whole entire career to speak about an open investigation to try and save her son's life. Everyone's like, what is she doing? She's going to get fired. Now you know. And now you know why Nolan's family had to come rip the phone out of their hands, the parents' hands. They were holding the phone hostage. They deleted the Snapchats because it proved where he was. I don't know who the fuck this is, and I don't know why this other kid is so scared. But we know that this is looking more and more like an initiation of some type, right? For like one of their nasty hillbilly groups. And I'm so sorry that people like this exist. Who's being allowed every single lynching? Who was the honorable guest? Judges have always been the most evil people in any town. We didn't burn down any towns after the Civil War. And that's all that's happening, okay? And they're not weighing good or bad if they can't arrest one person on the Epstein list, but they can just enforce your traffic. Wake up, okay? It's all a fucking illusion. But here's what Wyatt's brother said about black people. That isn't. They banned all the books in the country. And so if you're wondering why the Nazis are back, it's because all of these kids are actually idiots. And I just wanted to say on behalf of them, I am so sorry.
Because the presence of white people is sometimes just dangerous. We never know what the outcome is going to be. We have always existed with the reality that no matter what we do, lethal force could be used against us. Just existing could be something that's dangerous for us. We are now collectively grieving alongside a family who's mainly grieving a young black teenage boy. Then when we have young black kids who see these stories, understand these stories, we have to process these stories. What does that tell us about who is dangerous to us? Who is dangerous? If we can't even trust y'all to be our friends, imagine the fear that happens. I'm going to use whatever force possible to make it out of that situation alive. So the next time you're wondering why a young black kid or a black teenager or a black adult might respond in a way that you deem really over the top to make sure they make it out alive, ask yourselves why we feel like our lives are always in danger around you. Y'all are so comfortable with black grief. You're used to black grief. That's what you're used to. That's the story that you are accustomed to. Your nervous system is used to black grief. If this shit keeps happening, some of your sons might not come back home either.
There are days that you just will never forget in your life. And unfortunately for me, one of those days is July 13th, 2013. I remember exactly where I was. I was sitting in a living room surrounded by a group of my friends who were also teenage black boys. And we were glued to the television as we watched the decision come out that George Zimmerman would be acquitted for the murder of Trayvon Martin. I remember that day so vividly because that is one of few times in my life where I've ever felt so crushed and destroyed because Trayvon Martin looked like me, dressed like me, moved through the world like me. And as I was preparing that year to transition into undergrad, first of my family to do so, I realized just how sick and cruel the world can be to black people. Late last night, Rick Chow, a 61-year-old gas station attendant, was acquitted for the murder of Cyrus Carmack Belton, a 14-year-old whose only crime was going into a store and being black. They thought that he stole water. He did not, and proceeded to chase him the length of a football field and then some, just because they assumed that he stole something because he's black. That resulted in them, while he's running away, literally ending this boy's life. I just don't have the words anymore for how sick I am of witnessing black people be treated just like our lives are not valuable. Of course, I know that our lives are valuable. I know deep in my heart that our lives are valuable, but it is just so sad to exist in a world that has not caught up with that idea yet. Ironically, I am at a conference and I just got off a panel talking about burnout and how moving through the world with burnout and having to be public facing can be really difficult. And I know that there's so much happening in the world, but the fact that a 14-year-old cannot go into a store without being racially profiled, chased down, gunned down, and then his murder is not even seen as valid enough for the people who did it to be held accountable. It is sick. And that's it. We live in a sick fucking world. If you're black, I love you. If you know black people in your life, you tell them that you love them too. We're sick.
Being black is not a problem for a black person. Being black is a problem for the community that doesn't understand that you are a human being. It was not a problem for me. I had to deal with other people who had problems with it. I'm still dealing with that. But a black person doesn't have a problem.
I've just been so angry recently. Like, I'm just so fucking mad. Like, all the fucking time. I get news of a black person being killed or dying in mysterious circumstances or being missing every fucking day. If it's either from a month ago, 2 months ago, a week ago, a day ago. This shit is happening rapidly. Like, it's happening so often now. And it's not normal. You as a white person, I don't expect anything from you. I don't expect you to understand racism. I don't expect you to understand anti-blackness. I don't expect you to understand anything, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying you shouldn't try, but I don't expect you to understand things. There are so many black people who have already wrote works and already done shit because they care enough to hold white people's hands and tell them how to not be racist. For me, I don't have the fucking patience. I don't have the fucking patience. I don't really care. I'm going to talk about racism. If you learn something, great. If you don't, move on ahead. Because the next white person is going to go ahead and call me a nigger anyway. So, I don't know what the fuck to do. Black people keep losing their lives. In Georgia, here where the fuck I live in Georgia, right? Shit, I don't know if listen, like, it's dangerous out here. And you guys are concerned whether what this thing you're doing is a microaggression. Look it up. Look it up. You can do research on your own.
Hi, thanks for coming today. Are there any trends within the black community, such as higher crime rates or higher illegitimacy rates, that could explain their position vis-a-vis whites? And can those be explained by some dominant social group?
No.
No to the first one, or the
No
second one?
no to both.
So there's no.
I mean, there's a propagandistic mechanism that's afloat about, black illegitimacy and black criminality. I guess it depends on what kind of crime you have in mind. If we think about which community in the United States has the highest degree of history of violence, that's unquestionably white Americans. Unquestionably. I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware of the 100 massacres that were conducted between the end of the Civil War and World War II that were directed against black communities throughout the United States, in which thousands of blacks were killed and the white terrorists appropriated black-owned property. So there's no segment of the population that has a greater history of violence than white Americans. So when you talk about these kinds of matters to me, you're actually mouthing a set of propagandistic claims that are made on the right in the United States, and they do not have a foundation in fact.
Hey guys, it's Nick Karomiao, and please don't scream. Yeah, so I got hate crime today. Happy day 3 of Pride. Honestly, I don't really have much to say. Some dude called me the F slur and then proceeded to attack me. I have photos of him, which I will be putting up on the screen right now. I don't really have much else to say. Shit fucking happens sometimes. It is what it is. I'm good though, and he's not going to be.
I knew I was queer. I also knew that it was unacceptable to be queer. So I thought my only real option was to not be alive. Either be alive and queer, which was unacceptable, or not be alive. And I attempted to take my own life. A quote from 1820, and it says something along the lines of, "You'll start with burning books, and ultimately you'll end with burning people too." And this is a site of the first Nazi book burning in Berlin. Fascists don't like trans people. Within the past month, as I'm recording this, there have been 4 trans murders or trans disappearances in the past month. Students. Targeting farmers, a trans mask farmer, young guy in New Mexico, shot and killed. A kid in Florida, shot and killed. Person goes missing. Young woman goes missing in Kentucky. We still don't know where she is. And then just a couple weeks ago, while a student, young trans student, 19 years old, is just minding her business, doing laundry on her off-campus housing, She's stabbed 40 times. Stabbed 40 times. In the face and the neck. You might not know that about the pink triangle and that Nazis put queer people into concentration camps. And then when the Allies freed those people, they kept the queer people in the camps. The Soviets kept queer people in the camps. So, you know, we have a long history of being erased. A long history of being erased. You know, I carry the silence equals death pin with the watermelon to represent the fact that we were systematically exterminated as well. That's our history. That's my queer history. Everyone, our shared queer history.
The problem is I keep trying to make a video about the 5 dead trans people that have died this month. 5 now. It was 4 when I made a video yesterday. But there are so many of them that I keep getting their names wrong. Juniper Blessing was a 19-year-old trans girl. Murray Faust was a 22-year-old trans man. Erica Cadwell was a 41-year-old trans woman, and Lucas Knapp was a 38-year-old trans man. We do not yet know the name or the age of the last trans woman that was just found. I don't want to go into the specifics of this because it's been keeping me up at night, but I do want you to know that these people weren't just taken when they had decades upon decades of their lives left to live. They were also killed in some of the most brutal ways that you can imagine. The President of the United States declared us and our allies, trans people, as terrorists last week. And I've seen about 400 videos of cis people arguing about whether trans people belong in feminism or not this week, but not one person mentioning the names of these people. You need to be checking up on the trans people in your life. You need to be asking them how you can help them materially, genuinely. You need to be making it clear to the people around you that you openly ally yourself with the trans community, because at this point, if you are not with us, you are against us. And no, I'm not going to argue about this with you over the bodies of my brothers and sisters. Juniper Blessing, Erica Cadwell, Lucas Knapp, and Murray Faust. Do not let these people be forgotten. Do not let these deaths go unmourned. Do not let the trans people in your life disappear.
June, my beautiful sister, we await your return by the gate. June, the sun's dipping down past the hills, don't be late. You seldom come home anymore. June, study caution for man can be violent and cruel. June,
Black trans woman was killed this morning in Alexandria, Louisiana. She was found murdered. And while we don't know why the motive, it's another trans woman who was killed too soon. It's another black trans woman who was killed. And she's not the first this year. And black trans women continue to face violence. It's absolutely fucking awful. And I want to say her name, Marlo Trotty. She was 35, out of Alexandria, Louisiana. It's a small town right in the smack dab of the state. When you see people go after who they really want to be, it's not necessarily just about the outcome. It's not about whether people are passable. It's about how free people are to be themselves. And like, transition is choosing your life, choosing your future, choosing what you could be and what you could become. It's about you choosing yourself. It's choosing life. It's choosing light. It's choosing power. And to see someone taken when trans people have so much community to share, so much love to share, so much of their soul to share, and to see that taken too soon when they chose their life is deeply painful. Trans people have been continuing to get killed week after week. There was another murder just the state over in Houston. It's not like a few hours away. And the week before that, and the week before that, and it's ridiculous. And I was talking to one of my, ironically, trans sisters, and she was like, you know, for your content, you should make more stories about like only trans issues. And it's like, I don't want to keep talking about tragedy after tragedy. I would rather not. I talk about news stories on trans people so often because they keep going after a community. And it's infuriating. And who else is going to talk about this? Where do you see this on CNN? Where do you see this on Anderson Cooper? Where do you see this on any other place? She has a family. And I don't need to go on and drone. But I'm tired of our community being attacked. And it needs to stop. And so to her, we give her flowers. Give the femmes you see in your life, give the trans men you see in your life, give the trans people you see in your life some love while they're still alive. Thank you.
More than 15 trans women in Indonesia were harassed, stripped naked, beaten, and doused with urine by a group of homophobic men in public. If you'd like to help these survivors, please keep watching. I'll explain what happened and how you can support them. Recently, disturbing videos began circulating online, showing a group of men violently attacking more than 15 trans women in Indonesia. According to LGBTQ+ advocates in Indonesia, these women were harassed, stripped naked, beaten, and doused with urine in a horrific act of anti-trans violence. Over the past several months, LGBTQ+ people in Indonesia have faced increasing hate crimes, harassment, and doxing. Many have been publicly targeted for simply expressing themselves, or for being perceived as LGBTQ+. Many trans women in Indonesia have also faced systemic discrimination that makes it difficult to find stable employment, leaving some with few options to work on the streets just to survive. Instead of receiving protection, they're being met with horrific violence. A friend of one of the survivors has opened their PayPal to collect donations to support trans women impacted by this attack. The PayPal belongs to Aristo Gonzalez, and the funds will go toward helping survivors with relief and recovery. I will also link the original post, so you can verify the information before donating. If you're able to donate even a few dollars, it can make a meaningful difference. If you can't donate, sharing this video also helps spread awareness, reach more people who can. I also want to bring attention to this Instagram account, which has posted and glorified these attacks. Please take a moment to report this account and its post for hate speech, harassment, and violent or abusive behavior. Content that celebrates or encourages violence against trans people should never have a platform. To everyone in Indonesia's LGBTQ+ community, especially the trans community, you deserve to live safely with dignity and without fear. My heart is with all of you. If you're able to, please consider supporting the survivors. I will have the link in my bio, caption, and comments. Report the account for spreading the hateful content, and continue standing in solidarity with the trans community.
I acknowledge the need for allies because of the visibility we lend. That was just reinforced for me tonight. Sarah McBride gave me a note from a 10-year-old transgender girl named Ella. She named herself that after my movie Ella Enchanted. And in this note, Ella thanked me for my courage as an ally. Ella, sweetie, I want to make something absolutely clear to you. It takes zero courage to love you.
I've got one hard-headed neighbor. He wants you to die, so you sprint to your car. And each rider's eye is a thrill that expires. It points to the truth of being what we are. They say it's the season of loving, but people like us will get the whole year when the country is ready. It's slow but it's steady, and it's always late. 'Cause the world needs time, oh, mankind just needs time all the time. Oh, the world needs time, oh, mankind takes its time all the time. Says LA is progressive, the rest of the world keeps its eye on the youth. Rewards their demands, building strong and defenses, so it can shut down a convenient half-truth. My love lives beyond all discussion, or else it means nothing if I shrink at the hand of the man who breaks you just for looking like you are not his son. 'Cause the world needs time, oh, mankind just needs time all the time. Oh, the world needs time, oh, mankind takes its time all the time.
I'm not gonna stop being friends with bad people because bad people need good people in their—
Shut the fuck up! I don't agree anymore! It's been 2 months, I don't— Kill them! Kill bad people!
When I called LAPD last year because a man broke into my house, their wise words, their solution to that problem, not sending officers to the scene, were, why don't you put a chair in front of the door so the man who broke into your house, should he come back, can't get in. 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine was taking a walk. She was assaulted and battered on said walk. Some dude grabbed her by the chest, grabbed her shoulders, grabbed her neck, ripped a necklace off of her neck, likely intended to do more had she not started screaming, defending herself. And when she called LAPD, they told her they didn't have the time to handle it. They said, we know it sucks to have your property stolen, the necklace, but it's just property. Also, the officer they sent to the scene, luckily, she got an officer, I didn't, she did. The officer they sent to the scene had a BBL. And I say that without shame. Just, how do you intend to do your job, chase a perpetrator, with a BBL? You came to work to not work. Anyway, said they didn't have the time to handle it. And now they've sent 20 officers to handle a noise complaint, a barking dog. And by handle, I mean shoot the dog to death. Only, of course, to claim, all these people do is lie. It's remarkable. Only, of course, to claim that they feared for their life. Contradictory to the body cam footage, of course. Defund the police has never made sense to me as a statement. It just hasn't. Sorry, it hasn't. But if you were to propose taking every single penny from the Los Angeles Police Department and having a competition at the Grove of who could fit the most of those pennies up their fucking ass, instead of funding the Los Angeles Police Department, it'd get my vote. These people deserve not a dime. So lazy, so incompetent, so violent, so dangerous. It would genuinely be a better use of the state's money, the city's money, the country's money to fund everyone on Earth's lesbian dance theory degree than to keep paying them to do this.
Stop acting like the machine is broken. Morally, it's broken, but intentionally, it's not. The machine is not broken. It's running exactly the way it was designed to run. Black people are exhausted from watching the same script play out across generations. For centuries, a black child exists, a non-black person decides that existence is a threat, an insult, or a crime, a trigger is pulled, a life is stolen, and then the legal system steps in to perform its ultimate function, to sanitize the slaughter, to turn a victim into a suspect and a killer into a victim. And it keeps happening. It's been happening, and it's gonna keep happening if nothing changes. The root cause of this is not just prejudice. It is a foundational, historical addiction to the devaluation of black life. This country was built on a legal framework where black skin legally equated to property, and property has no rights that a white or dominant structure is bound to respect. That blueprint never left you guys. It just evolved. It traded the slave catcher's whip for a badge, a civilian's gun, and a defense attorney's closing argument. The system doesn't see a 14-year-old kid like Cyrus Belton or Tamir Rice as a child. It sees them through a lens of inherent criminality. It weaponizes fear to justify execution. If a bottle of water, a pack of Skittles, a toy gun, or a cell phone can be legally twisted into a death warrant, then the problem is not the item. The problem is the skin of the person holding it. Because even if they did steal it, which they didn't, nobody's life is worth being taken over a bottle of water, much less a 14-year-old boy. And let's talk about the sickness of the trial itself. Every single time, they put the dead child on trial. They dig up their lives looking for any flaw, any mistake, any regular teenage behavior to justify why they're buried 6 feet deep. They demand the children be perfect little saints just to have a right to breathe. But the penalty for being an imperfect teenager is not execution. White kids get to mess up, shoot up schools, murder, get grace, and grow up. Black kids get autopsies and cover-ups. The system protects these killers because it sympathizes with their delusion. It rewards the vigilant mindset of ordinary people who look at a black boy and decide they are the judge, jury, and executioner. The court looks at a killer's manufactured irrational fear and says that fear is reasonable. They legalize the paranoia. Black people carry the weight of this trauma every single fucking day. It's a heavy, suffocating grief that gets passed down from parent to child. It's the talk they have to give their kids, not about stranger danger, but about systemic danger. It's the constant agonizing awareness that no amount of innocence, no amount of compliance, no amount of manners or kindness, no amount of good behavior, no amount of minding your own goddamn business, no amount of staying on your P's and Q's, no amount of staying out the way, and no amount of childhood can protect you if someone decides your breathing is an offense. Stop asking nicely for your humanity to be recognized by a structure that profits off your subjugation. The solution starts with absolute refusal. Refuse to accept their verdicts as the final word on moral truth. Dismantle the legal protections like qualified immunity, biased self-defense claims, and jury selection processes that allow killers to walk free. Build and control your own institutions, fund your own legal defenses, and create economic and political consequences so severe that the system can no longer afford to let your killers go free.
Okay, so you're not corrupt. I'm just giving an example. And you go for a job, and there's the managing director interviewing you, and he'll directly ask you for a bribe, or you don't get the job.
Don't get a job.
So?
Why don't you stand for something?
So, but without a job, I cannot live. Sir.
Huh?
Without a job, I cannot live.
Don't live.
Then what is the purpose of coming into the world?
Find out. You see, you're all so weak, you give in.
So?
Suppose you say, no, sorry, I won't be corrupt. And you collect people around you. You work for it.
So, but if there's only 5 people around me...
That's good enough. Begin.
Hey, nonviolence is a cop-out because the system is violent and is inherently violent. Apartheid in South Africa didn't end because white people were like, oh my gosh, that was really terrible. We should let Madiba out and we should give them rights. And maybe a little bit of land, but definitely not all of it. That's not how it went. Okay. Basically, there was, things got worse and worse and worse, if you can imagine, to the point where they were killing people. June 16th, 1976, Youth Day. Children walk out of school and say, we will not be taught in Afrikaans. We can't learn in Afrikaans. We're not Afrikaans. And then the police open fire on them and kill him. Hector Peterson picture to come. Sharpeville massacre. All the massacres. And then MK, which is the Mkhonto we Sizwe, which is the armed resistance of the ANC, was like, yeah, we are going to need some arms because this isn't going to work. And then things progressed very quickly in 20 years, like they hadn't in 50 years before, despite 70 years of work. I don't think you're inherently violent. I'm not inherently violent. I do practice nonviolence, but I'm not nonviolent. Okay? And I know this about myself because I spend a lot of time thinking about my thinking. I don't get alarmed when someone says that I can be violent, because I know that about myself. I also know that I can be violent, so I make an effort to practice nonviolence. And I understand violence as a tool. In this vein, I would like you to think about your thinking. Ismatu Gwendolyn is doing a series on metacognition right now. It's one of my favorite phrases since I was like 14, and I would love if you learned about it. It's thinking about your thinking. What we're finding right now is a lot of people thinking that they believe in equality and thinking they believe in equal rights and thinking that they're anti-racism, but they're actually, they don't like racists, but they're okay with racism because they haven't done the thinking about their thinking. You can hear it from any psychic or you can hear it from me, but everything's about to pick up. And you should pick up a pen. School's in session.
A little while before we went into lockdown, a boy in my class came up to me and said that his dad told him to stay away from Chinese people. After I told him that I was Chinese, he backed away from me. Eloise and I wrote the song based on that experience.
So this is about him and all the other racist, sexist boys in this world. 1, 2, 3, 4!
What could mom or dad have done better?
Well, they could have used history to better predict the future. Well, they came over from Nigeria because they were inspired by the civil rights movement. They didn't realize it wasn't done, right?
Okay.
So they wanted to teach at HBCUs, historically black universities and colleges.
Okay.
Which you know are historically in places that hate black people.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. So I was actually born in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
Which is a great place if you're a fan of Mobile gas stations.
I'm sure there are many fans of Mobile gas stations.
And Mobile homes, you know? And so then they moved us to Salisbury, Maryland, which I'm not sure if you're familiar. That's 2 towns.
The States.
Yes, the States, yes. And it's 2 towns over from the KKK headquarters. So two bad things.
Did not know that.
So one of my earliest memories was a Klan rally.
What do you mean memory? Like in real life?
It was not a dream. We were going to Rehoboth Beach. I was about 6 years old. And they were out there in their full uniform. And I turned to my mom and I was like, who are those men? Her being a professor, she was like, those are just men who want to kill you. Let's go to the beach. So we went, and even the hermit crabs had hoods on, okay? You know, and then I got like very obsessed with the History Channel because I'm like, oh, those are them. Those are the ones from the beach. Those are the people. Then we moved to Massachusetts, the most racist place of all.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you already know, because it's like if they take an indigenous name and butcher it, it's gonna be racist.
They're gonna butcher everyone else after that.
Listen, Massachusetts, Connecticut, yeah, those are the places, right? So in high school, I had a racist bully.
Ouch.
Okay.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Thank you. He used to do crazy things. He used to write the N-word on my locker.
No fun.
Yeah, not great. And it was crazy too because he was black just like me. You know?
That's deep, that's dark.
Yeah, he was just 5 or 6 Fenty makeup shades lighter than me.
That's this.
I would look at my locker and look at him and be like, you as well. But then something happened that was really good. It was a redeeming thing.
He apologized and said, I'm sorry.
Nope. He passed away. He's no longer with us. He lost in a bar fight. I know my Redeemer lives. I know. Where'd you go?
I guess he just learned his lesson too late in life, huh?
I guess he did. I know my Redeemer lives. I believe in God. I believe I can fly. All the, that goes to the victims.
Elegant.
I am very pleased. I am very happy. This video makes me happy. Her reaction is what is making me happy. You see how she did not wait to marinate and try to find where the audacity was coming from. She did not wait, like she didn't even wait to process. Just swing into action. In fact, she gave him a chance to correct the stupidity. But as usual, he did not apply his wisdom. So what? She retaliated immediately. That's what should happen. If you find yourself in this kind of situation, ensure that you give that person a serious beating. They must not escape. And then when you do that, you step out. Don't wait for them to recover. Do your bit and step away and then call for help. That is it. This video makes me very happy. In fact, I'm very pleased. Like, I feel I'm at rest. Rubbish.
Find everything all right? Yep, just these. Okay. Alrighty, that will be $61.99. Would you like to donate to the All Men's Homeless Shelter? Where did you say? The All Men's. You dare ask me that after everything that's happened? What are you talking about? Excuse me, young lady. Excuse me. Can I skip in front of you? You like a... Would you say nah? For Megan! Oh my God, what is wrong with you? Yo, Maya, what are you doing? Oh, you found me. Perfect. Here's your engagement ring. Are you serious? Just because Klay Thompson broke that, man. You don't even know Klay Thompson. I said don't say it! Quiet down, everybody. Put your hands up. Come on. She's right there. Right there, her. She assaulted these two men on the ground with that. Get her. Get her. For Megan. For Megan. Put your hands behind your back. What? I said put your hands behind your back. Come on. She assaulted two men with bats. Bats. Good job. Thank you. I actually have something for you. Here. Just in case you run into any men today. Thank you. You keep doing what you're doing. I will.
Hey, Sergeant, should we tell boss about this? He might want to know.
Are you serious? You think I'm about to answer to a man?
Damn fuck nigga, still can't believe I used to fuck with you.
I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to. I don't want to.